Koraidon is one of the newest cover legendaries introduced with the release of Pokémon Scarlet and Violet. And it is literally the strongest Pokémon in the game as of right now. This hasn't always been the case. At the start of the generation, Miraidon was considered to be the stronger of the two, and the strongest Pokémon in the game, with Koraidon being a close second. Miraidon's great stats, amazing typing, ability and move pool just proved to be superior over that of its counterpart Koraidon. However, since the release of the Teal Mask DLC some time ago, Koraidon has taken the number 1 spot and has remained that way for consecutive months now, being featured on more than half of the Gen 9 Uber's teams. So what makes Koraidon so strong that it is considered the best Pokémon and strongest wall breaker in the Gen 9 Uber's metagame and in the whole of Pokémon Scarlet and Violet? Let's find out. Koraidon has amazing stats, boasting great offensive stats with 135 in both attack and speed, and having great bulk across the board. Koraidon also has the amazing signature ability Orichalcum Pulse. This ability sets up the sun and boosts Koraidon's attack stat by 33% when sun is up. This makes it the strongest wall breaker in the game, especially with the typing and great moves to back it up. Koraidon's Dragon Fighting typing is very good offensively, and this Pokémon has some great moves to take advantage of on the physical side as stab and coverage options. For fighting stab, it can run a multitude of options. These include close combat, collision course, drain punch and even low kick. Close combat is the strongest and most reliable move out of the three, but it lowers Koraidon's defensive stats when using it. Collision course is its signature move, a 100 power base move that deals increased damage on super effective hits. Drain Punch is a weaker move but works well on Life Orb sets to offset the recoil damage of Life Orb to keep it healthy, and lastly there is Low Kick. This move will in most cases be a base power of 120 just like Close Combat, but with no drawbacks as many of the Uber's Pokemon are very heavy. However, against lighter targets this move will not be as reliable. Low Kick is preferred option as a fighting step in most cases, but it really comes down to personal preference. For Dragon Step, it also has some great options, including Dragon Claw, Outrage and Skill Shot. Dragon Claw is the weakest out of the three, but the most reliable move. Outrage is the strongest, but has the major drawback of locking Koraidon in the move, and Skill Shot is the newest addition it got with the Teal Mask DLC, and what pushed it to being considered the best Pokemon in the game. Dragon Claw and Outrage are better on choice sets, whereas Skill Shot is preferred on Swords Dance sets. Swords Dance boosts Koraidon's attack even further, whereas Skill Shot provides a speed boost, turning Koraidon into a devastating wall breaker and late game cleaner. And Skill Shot's power can be boosted even further with Lotus Dice, which will increase Skill Shot's damage to a minimum of 100 and a maximum of 125 base power, making it even stronger than Outrage and more reliable as well. Skill Shot is what really pushed this Pokemon to another level compared to pre-DLC. Skill Shot is not only Koraidon's strongest step move, but it's also a much better alternative over Flame Charge. Flame Charge is previously what was used on Swords Dance sets to gain a speed boost, but this move is very weak and doesn't really provide anything else aside from that speed boost. Thanks to Skill Shot, it can use a much better Dragon Step to gain a speed boost and drop Flame Charge for a much stronger Fire Step. Koraidon heavily struggles against Fairy types though, but it has the coverage to break through these Pokemon. Flare Blitz is a strong option that also gets boosted by Sun, effectively providing Koraidon with a third step move. This move gets boosted even further by using Terra Fire, a very common Terra type to not only boost the power of Flare Blitz, but also give Koraidon a resist to super effective ice and fairy attacks and providing it with an immunity to burn. While Swords Dance Koraidon is a very strong option, it is also a very good user of Choice Band and Choice Scarf. Choice Band provides it with more immediate power, allowing it to 2-hit kill or 1-hit kill Pokemon it couldn't otherwise, and Choice Scarf gives it insane speed control to outspeed faster threats. These sets are more prediction reliant as a result, but can make use of U-turn to ease that prediction and keep up the offense momentum. Koraidon truly has no counters in the Uber's metagame and only a few checks. Skeleton is arguably the closest thing to a counter, Skeletor is able to ignore the sword stance boost thanks to Unaware, is immune to fighting and resists fire. However, against choice band sets it can be 2-hit KO'd with proper prediction. That's not even mentioning the rare Stomping Tantrum, which will outright 2-hit KO Skeletors on life orb sets and 1-hit KO if low kick failed beforehand. Arceus Fairy is a great check to it as it can take both Koraidon stab moves. However, Arceus Fairy has to predict the Terra Fire as it will otherwise deal no damage with Judgment. Some sets don't even run Earth Power as a coverage option and are thus completely walled by Terra Fire Koraidon as a result. Ho is another check that can take low kick and flare blitz and barely live a +2 skill shot, but fails to 1-hit KO Koraidon back if it does use Terra Fire on a Brave Bird. Flutter Mane is a great offensive check that is immune to both Koraidon stabs, while being able to outspeed it and threaten it with a 1-hit KO. However, just like the aforementioned Pokemon, it will lose to Terra Fire. Landorus T can intimidate Koraidon and live a boosted hit, but also fails to KO Miraidon back. Even Great Tusk with a defense boost will lose if it doesn't predict right against the Terra. Kyogre can switch up the weather, significantly reducing Koraidon's damage output, but it does not appreciate taking any move at all. Even offensive checks to Koraidon are very shaky, as it can outspeed the entire metagame after speed boost. With a speed boost, the only options against this Pokemon are Extreme Speed Arceus, Ice Shard Chien-Pao, Choice Scarf Miraidon and Iron Bundle. Koraidon sometimes opts to use Terra Ghost over Terra Fire though, to gain an immunity to Extreme Speed Arceus, while Terra Fire still gives the resist to Ice Shard from Chien-Pao, and Miraidon can only speed tie with Koraidon, making this not reliable either. Iron Bundle can reliably outspeed under Electric Terrain, but cannot beat Terra Fire thanks to Sun reducing the damage of water attacks and of course giving it resist to Ice Beam. Even with choice packs it fails to 1-hit kill. If Koraidon does not have a speed boost, the options are more diverse, like Zacian Crowned, Deluxe Attack and many choice scarf users. Koraidon is truly the strongest wall breaker in the entire metagame and often requires multiple checks to take it on, which explains its very high usage rate. What I also want to note is that in the national decks Gen 9 Ubers format, this Pokemon was actually banned because it could just use Z moves to increase its power even more and break through the Pokemon that had a chance of actually retaliating back to it. This Pokemon is also extremely versatile, which can make playing against it a very tough feat. Let me know your thoughts about Koraidon in the comments, and if you enjoyed the video, consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel if you're new. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.